Hello guys, Raj here. Welcome back to the Eastern Romans project. As you can see, I've called in the cavalry, get a load of these guys. As I said earlier, I split up the riders from the horses, trying something new for me, getting outside of my comfort zone. So the horses are based up. The riders I've mounted using a weird system here. So drilled out their butts, put I think a 20 gauge steel wire, rammed it up there, bent over, super glued it in, put some poster putty just to give it a little extra, strength. Stuck that into some pink foam. That's what I had. And Elmer glued that foam to a base so it could stand. And then for the foam, I went back and put some Elmer's glue where the wire goes in. So if there is some melting from the primer I'm going to be hitting these things with, it's not going to cause an issue with the stability of the contraption itself. So these are Gripping Beast, the Tegmatic Byzantine cavalry. So armor and stuff is really cool looking. For their spears, didn't use the ones they came with, which is just the metal, pewter, white lead, whatever they're using nowadays. If you have any experience with that stuff, you know it bends and you got to bend it back and eventually they're going to break and it's a big hassle. The other thing was using brass rod as the other option, or buying some ready-made spears. I didn't have anything like that laying around. What I did have was the Dark Age Warriors spear arms. So I think I had those as bits. I was maybe selling them. I took the auction down. I'm like, I'm going to use these babies. So plastic, I mean, it can snap. But otherwise, works good. The hands, where they attach, I chopped them off. So I think the hands look a little better. The spears, they're fine looking. We'll see, I guess, how they stand for durability. Everything's magnetized, so I'm not going to be pulling them in and out of trays, so I'm not going to have that particular issue. So I think I'm going to be fine there. These guys went together well. Then the plastic Step Tribes kit from Fireforge went together pretty nice. I mixed up some of the heads using from different Dark Age kits I think that I had. And I did green stuff, a few helmets and a cool little hat on one of them, just to differentiate them from the Mongol head. So I didn't use those style of helmets. I think that's the most distinctive, really East Asian thing about them. So mixed up the helmets, and hopefully the style will serve me well using my Step Tribes, or in the future maybe as Huns. That'd be cool if I expanded those forces out. The horses themselves, so I went back. I did review the Mongol kit, and I picked up for horses for plastics for my Byzantine guys. I didn't like the metal horses that they were on. They didn't really match really well with the plastic Fireforge ones. So I picked up their mounted sergeants box set, I believe, that had these unbarded steeds, and they worked pretty well. You can see that the sizes are comparable. They're actually a little skinnier, I think, than the Mongol horses for whatever reason, even if the Mongol ones are a little bit shorter but wider. But yeah, they should go together well. They don't have the bags and stuff. But around the neck region, I had to go back and I had to green stuff that in because there was a really obvious gap, kind of a line where the head attached. And they just had really skinny necks sitting on these plump shoulders, and it was really obvious. I went back, filled that out, and then I had to green stuff on some of the Mongol horses on the back side there. The bags, there was a gap, so a little bit of extra putty work on those to get them up to my standards, but I think they went together well. Got these babies based. The last thing I did was I had a Tegmatic command pack to use the warlord figure from. So that's where he comes from, and actually his head was the head is kind of similar to this plastic head that I put on him, which I don't know where that plastic head I got came from. Some kid or something like that. But the metal head was kind of smushed, and he had a smushy nose. It's kind of malformed a little bit, unfortunately. So I just chopped that off, put this cool head on there, and he looks badass. It was his helmet sitting right there. He looks nice and commandy, as the Byzantine board will attest to. He doesn't get into the action necessarily. as much as some of the other warlords do, and grants abilities to the units out there. So I thought he looked really cool. The reason that he's not based is I got this banner guy too. So in the command pack it came with 4 models from Gripping Beast. So I used this other one to make him a banner guy. So I did put in the effort to put the steel rod through, since it was going to be a nice tall banner. There's just one of them, and then glued a little plastic bit to the top. So I'm going to put a banner on there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. My idea was to do the double warlord base, where you got the warlord and then a dude with the banner behind him. Looks good, but that takes up a lot of real estate with the cavalry and their tails sticking out, and they look like they're in motion, so they don't look like they're stationary. I'm not sure. So I'm going to put them together, paint them up, and then base them afterwards. So I might put the warlord on a base by himself and then just use this guy as, you could use a standard bearer model with the Hearthguard. I don't think there's any particular benefit for the Byzantines using that strategy, but I'll have the option, and maybe I will put them both on the double base, at the end of it. And then the last thing is these bow bits here, which these came from the Mongol kit, and therefore if you're using the hand weapons or spears on the Mongols, you can still glue a bow on there. So the idea with that is I'm going to paint up the Hearthguard cav, and you can take bows with them, or you can take spears or whatever. And I'm not sure which one I want to do, and I'm thinking I might just glue those quivers and bows to the riders themselves, and then I can just kind of flip back and forth between what I want to use. If I want to use them as the hand weapon guys, I'll just say, they're not using the bows. If I want to use them as the bows guys, I'll be like, see, there's bows right there. So hopefully my opponents are okay with that. It might be a little harder for them to remember when they're obviously sticking the spears at, but the bow arm guys, they still got the spears and the weapons and stuff like that, in my opinion. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not 100% on that, so I'm going to paint up the whole model, and then I'm going to paint the quivers and bows separately, and then see if I can attach them in a way that I think looks natural. I don't just want to slap them on there. So I might glue them to the horse or to the guy's legs. Not entirely sure how that's going to look. So when I was monkeying around, I couldn't really picture it. So once they're done, I can see if I really want to do that or not. So I'm not entirely sure. But that is the idea. That's why they're sitting there. So this is a picture now of the entire force. The project, you can see, is well out of hand. It's gotten bananas. I can't believe that I put this all together. I didn't really think about it. And next time, I definitely going to think about the number of guys that I'm doing here, because this is just freaking crazy. So at this point, it's time to prime these bastards, and usually I do a test model. So I want to use the airbrush extensively, so I'm going to be airbrushing, kind of going through the hassle of doing one model, maybe a trooper and a horse, and so I can get the feel for how I want to do each of those. So I want to do the airbrush, the dip, speed it up as quick as possible, get these guys out, but I do have a pretty high paint standard, so I might just put in all the time and effort to paint them the old-fashioned way. We shall see, but I want to figure out a paint scheme that's quick, easy, and then also kind of matches those shields that I picked up. So, kind of want everything to go together. Again, I'm thinking whitish for everything, so I think the next video you'll probably see, whenever that is hopefully a test model, I'm thinking. So that'll be my goal, is get a test model or two done, and then I'm just going to keep going. I got to get a slew of audiobooks here, because there's going to be a lot of painting, base coating, and such going on, and I'm probably going to be quite busy trying to get these guys out. No particular goal, but I do have a little backlog of models I'm trying to paint up here, so I want to get these guys done. It's been way too long, and that'll be it for this video. And thanks for coming along on this journey, checking everything out. If you have any questions about what I'm up to here, please post a comment below. Otherwise, I think that is going to be it for this particular video, and I'm going to catch you guys for the next one, hopefully real soon.